No one in Game of Thrones sees power quite as Lord Petyr Baelish does. While everyone else is chasing the titles and respect that come with it, Littlefinger is more than happy to wait on the sidelines for his time to come. And when you follow Littlefinger's sneaky, socially savvy moves, people will listen to you and you'll get what you want from people much, much sooner. Littlefinger has devised the ultimate plan, getting both Sansa and the Iron Throne. He strategically placed himself in Winterfell, and while everyone else is busy destroying each other, he has a perfectly good excuse why he isn't involved in any fighting. To him, it doesn't really matter who will win the war and sit on the Iron Throne, whether it's Cersei or Daenerys. Both of them will have to face the major losses and PR problems. And then the Queen in the North would arrive as the answer to all of their problems with the United Armies of the North, the Vale and the Riverlands behind her, of course with plenty of food too. But then his plan hit a few brick walls. And this is where we will learn about Littlefinger's genius, how he uses social savviness to turn power to his side. Littlefinger tries to plant his own ideas into other people's minds and pass his own ideas as their own. When Bran arrived to Winterfell, it was a perfect opportunity to take Jon down. Bran was the rightful Lord of Winterfell, not Jon Snow. So he brings Bran a present, a dagger that was used to murder him.
This is for you. The last man who wielded it meant to cut your throat, but your mother fought him off.
And starts planting the idea of the rightful Lord of Winterfell.
To go through all of that and make your way home again only to find such chaos in the world. I can only imagine.
Chaos is a ladder.
I'm sorry to have disturbed you, Lord Stark.
I'm not Lord Stark.
A genius move. If he succeeds, Jon is out of the picture and Bran is easy to manipulate. If Jon stays in power, his reputation will take a major hit. Too bad for him that Bran doesn't give a rat's ass about that social ladder bullshit. But whatever the outcome of his move was, it's something to take note from. See, it's much better to make the other person think that the idea you're representing them with is their own. Because people are much more likely to stick to an idea if it's theirs than if it's yours. Divide and conquer. Another setback for Littlefinger's plan. Arya came back to Winterfell. This is potentially very bad for Littlefinger's plan because Arya and Jon used to be best buds way back when all was well in Westeros. Plus, her bravosy fighting style makes her dangerous to have her around. So, what does he do? He puts an idea in Arya's mind that Sansa is planning to betray Jon. He plans the ladder from when Sansa was promised to marry Joffrey and makes sure Arya finds it. He knew that she'll get furious and want to put an end to Sansa's plan, turning the Northern Lords against Sansa. Now, Sansa knows that she needs to remove Arya. However, there's another problem. Brienne is sworn to protect both sisters, so if one turns to the other, Brienne will have to interfere. So, Littlefinger successfully planted the idea of removing Brienne away from Winterfell into Sansa's mind, which was her first step in turning against Arya.
Their loyalty is to Jon. Jon is not here. I haven't heard from him in weeks.
You're the Lady of Winterfell. The king chose you to rule in his absence. And rule you have. Wisely. Ably. They see that, they respect you. Some may even prefer you.
Yes, they turned their backs on Jon when it was time to retake Winterfell. Then they named him their king, and now they're ready to turn their backs on him again. How far would you trust men like that? Or bloody wind vanes. If they found out that I wrote that letter, a woman who's already married not one but two enemies of her house, by the time Jon comes back, he'll have no army left.
Arya's not like them. She's your sister. You may have disagreements, but she would never betray her family.
She would if she thought I was going to betray Jon.
Is that what she thinks?
I don't know what she thinks. I don't know her anymore.
Perhaps Lady Brienne could help. She's sworn to protect both of Catelyn Stark's girls. Is she not?
She is.
And if one of you were planning to harm the other in any way, wouldn't she be honor bound to intercede?
She would.
Now she can stop Arya from turning the Northern Lords against her without anyone in the way. This fighting between the two sisters will drag along until Jon comes back to Winterfell, and he'll be forced to choose sides. Either Arya's out of the picture, or Sansa will be betrayed by both Jon and Arya, and will run right into his arms because she'll have no one but him. However, this move could potentially be harmful to Littlefinger. You see, something I haven't mentioned about Littlefinger's power play is that he is emotionless. Or at least he used to be before he proclaimed his deepest desires to Sansa.
What do you want?
I thought you knew what I wanted.
I was wrong.
No, you weren't. Every time I'm faced with a decision, I close my eyes and see the same picture. Whenever I consider an action, I ask myself, will this action help to make this picture a reality? Pull it out of my mind and into the world. And I only act if the answer is yes. A picture of me on the Iron Throne. And you by my side.
He straight out said to her, I won you and I won the Iron Throne. And never before did he reveal his wishes to anyone else. So Sansa is his weak spot. Sure, she's his way to the throne, but instead of using her, he wants her by his side. And because she knows what his motives to play the Game of Thrones are, she might figure out what he's doing and well, it would be the game over for Littlefinger. So number 3 would be, in order to use power in this way, you must stay cool-headed. Emotions and sensibility would cloud your judgment and make you miss the big picture because you would be chasing something else, kind of like Littlefinger. His big picture is him on the Iron Throne. However, his feelings for Sansa are clouding his judgment, and this very well might just be the end for Littlefinger. To recap, Littlefinger has an amazing ability to control and manipulate others. Instead of showing off power like Cersei or Daenerys, he uses logic to get into people's heads and plant his ideas as their own. He is a master communicator, and his main advantage is that he looks at the big picture, at his ultimate goal. Keep that in mind when you're trying to get what you want from people. Always convince them that your idea is theirs. Be cool-headed and be strategic about your actions because that's how you get anything you want.